Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out the XBOT65 from Flywoo, and just like the XBOT 3, got this painted carbon, essentially electrostatic painted carbons, painted in gold. They're matching the color of the motors here, the 1103s. I think these are 7650 kV. I thought they were 8000, but they're a little bit lower, 7650. They're running the gem fan 65mm S prop. You got their Flywoo stack on here. This is the Nano, I guess 16x16 stack, so you got a 13 amp 401 EC F4 flight controller with a whole bunch of LEDs, and then you got your, I think it's called the VTX625, which I reviewed earlier. That's the one that you could basically convert from triangle to 20mm and 16mm by just cutting off some of the little tabs, which they've done obviously for fitting onto the 16x16 stack. So we've seen this also in the XBOT 3. So essentially, this is an XBOT 3, but in a 65mm frame instead of a 3-inch frame, and 1103 7650 kV motors instead of the 1202.5. I think those are like 5800 kV for, I don't remember exactly. Same camera as well, the Runcam Split 3 Nano, although you can also get the non-HD version. So the non-HD version won't have the camera board on the bottom, and of course will weigh less. And surprisingly, I thought this would have a really hard time flying, but it was actually okay. I think it's a testament to the Flywoo 1103 motors, pretty good power, even though this is pretty heavy, and I did fly it on a 3S 450 Tattoo. Let me just go ahead and show you the weight. I think if you are going to get the XBOT65, I would recommend getting the non-HD version. It'll fly a little bit better. But I didn't think it flew terrible, although it does feel a bit heavy on the 65mm propeller. Alright, so weight of the drone without anything, no battery, is 71.5 grams, and then with the battery that I flew with, it comes in at 110.4 grams, so pretty hefty for a 65mm toothpick. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and show you the flight footage now. You'll notice that the HD recording is cut off about a minute into the flight. I have been trying to figure out what is wrong with this Runcam Split 3 Nano. It has some sort of an issue where it just randomly freezes and or the recording just stops in the middle, or either that or the recording gets corrupted. So I've tried a number of different micro SD cards, and that hasn't resolved my problem. I was not having the same problem on the XBOT 3, which has the exact same camera, so I was using all the same micro SD cards. So don't think it's the micro SD cards if you guys are wondering about that. I just think that this particular camera is defective in some way. I'm not 100% sure about what's going on there, but I have a funny feeling that it may have something to do with the way it's mounted here, because the battery does sit below it here, and it's possible that some pressure is being put on the board in the way this TPU part, I mean, it's very snug in there, it doesn't move at all, so it's possible there's some pressure on the board somewhere that's causing a fault. I think that is, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned in the XBOT 3 video, I think that could be an issue with this design. We'll have to see. The XBOT 3 wasn't having any problems. I've been finding that a fair amount, and it's been totally fine. Just this particular camera has been giving me issues. So you're going to see some of the HD footage from this flight, but then it's going to revert back to the DVR footage. And we're going to leave it at that. If you're wondering what the HD footage looks like, just look at the XBOT 3 video. I'll link that down in the description. You can see it's the same camera. It's not going to, the HD video footage isn't going to be any different. Anyway, here's flight footage, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
So they sent me the HD version of this. I kind of wanted the non-HD version of the 65mm and the HD version of the 3-inch, but they sent me the HD version of both. The HD version adds almost 10 grams of weight, and it affects the performance. So yeah, it feels about what I thought it would feel like. This thing is kind of overloaded, a little bit heavy. If you are going to get the 65mm version, I'd recommend getting the non-HD version. It'll perform better because it'll be lighter. Although I think that even the non-HD version is still kind of heavy. You really have to hit the throttle a lot to make it move. Thinking if you want like a 65mm like cruiser, just want to cruise it around the park, you could do that. I think this would be alright if you want to just get a little bit HD footage, but I don't think, if you're looking for performance, this is not my first choice. I would go 3-inch, get the XBOT 3 instead. And this isn't all that quiet either, it's kind of loud. You can do flippy floppies if you want, but I don't think this looks all that great as an acro performer. Tune's okay. It's a little bit windy right now, so it is getting bounced around a bit. So if you just want to have a little park cruiser, throw in a few flips here and there, should be okay for that. Throw in the occasional split S, it's okay. But yeah, not terribly super exciting. And I can feel the battery kind of sagging out a little bit. Honestly, anything in the 65mm class with HD is not really viable right now. You can fly it around like this and it's fine, but if you want performance, you got to go 3-inch. That's what I would recommend. Flight time's not too bad though in these 1103s, 3S. Getting 4 minutes. That's more than I was expecting actually. It is bi-blade and only 65mm, but I was expecting the weight to be a pretty big factor in terms of the flight time. And I'm running the Tattoo 3S 450, same one I was running on the XBOT 3. So flight time's better than expected actually. But this isn't one of those ones you're going to be ripping around and racing and stuff like that, doing all kinds of crazy freestyle. Yeah, there we go. We're at the end of the battery. 4.5 minutes. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this guy. Let me know what you guys think of this one as well. Talk to you guys later.